I have been to question period a grand total of once in my life. And I was watching you and your colleagues and watching these monkeys on the other side.
Monkeys on the other side. Monkeys on the other side.
Welcome back to Moose on the Loose. My name's David. In today's top stories, we've got Mark Holland, Justin Trudeau's health minister, finally admitting that his dental plan isn't free. We've got Jagmeat trying to convince people outside the grocery store that he knows what he's talking about, and it's hilarious. We've also got the Rolling Stones. They made a bit of an oopsie. I don't think they've been paying attention to politics in Canada because he mentions Trudeau and how he loves the Trudeau family. And well, the audience, they didn't really share the same opinion. We got some other stories too, so let's jump into this. So first off, we got this clip here of Jagmeat. And he's outside a superstore. It's like Port Moody or Port Coquitlam, somewhere around there, Greater Vancouver. And he talks about grocery stores ripping people off, etc.
Oil and apples here at the superstore. The olive oil was over $20, $23 for this olive oil, President's Choice, $23. And this bag of apples, Imperfect, President's Choice, again, the brand of superstores of Loblaws, $9 for a bag of apples.
There's no question we're getting ripped off in the grocery store and the CEOs are ripping us off. But he goes on to ramble like he's some prophet telling people something we don't know. And there's going to be all these questions at the end. He's standing here acting like he thinks he's going to be Mr. Prime Minister. So if we jump to the end, when they ask for questions about what he's talking about here.
Merci. With that, I'm ready for any questions you might have.
I think we have any questions on site at the moment. We're going to go to the Zoom line for questions.
So there's no questions on site. Nobody around there doesn't care to ask him a question. So now they're going online to ask questions.
Just reminding everyone online, if you'd like to ask a question, to use the raise hand function. I have no questions online. So this concludes our press conference.
Not one person, look at his face. He knows he's a joker. This is embarrassing. Let's move on. So here we got this clip of Mick Jagger. Yeah, he's not up to date on what's going on in Canada here. Posted by Brian Litt. It says, don't think Mick Jagger expected fans at the Rolling Stones concert in Vancouver to boo when he mentioned Justin Trudeau. Watch and see how Mick gets them cheering again.
We love your Mr. Trudeau. I mean, his family's always been such big fans about that. By the way, congratulations on the Canadian soccer team getting to the semi-final.
So he switched the Canadian soccer team. They're moving up in the ranks or whatever. I don't follow soccer, but that was a smart transition. He obviously does not know what's going on with Trudeau to say, oh, we love Trudeau. His family's always been very supportive of us.
We love your Mr. Trudeau. I mean, his family's always been such big fans about that.
That's a lot of people. We've got another angle down here.
I mean, we love your Mr. Trudeau. I mean, his family's always been such big fans about that.
Look at his face. He's so confused. He's like, oh, wait a second. People in the comments here posting such funny clips. We got this one, Mick Jagger followed by Margaret Trudeau after a concert in 1977.
Afterwards, Mick Jagger emerged in a white toweling bathrobe. He was followed into the backseat of his car by possibly the Stones' most prestigious groupie, Mrs. Margaret Trudeau, wife of the Canadian Prime Minister. She was Jagger's guest at both concerts.
He's in a
Last to emerge was
robe,
looking morose and shapeless.
Oh, geez, this is... That just cracked a nut wide open. Let's look at the comments on this one. I remember this vividly, but it's impossible to find in mainstream media. Ho, ho, ho. Well, at least she knew what gender was. What happened to Justina? People are posting this Trudeau cover of Rolling Stone here. Why can't he be our president? We've also got this clip here.
Yes. We spoke in the past in the summer. Remember, look, you disturb our lives every day. Why would I disturb you for
Ça c'est vrai, tous les jours.
First question of the matter every day. Why can't we disturb your lunch, man? You preach the whole wild world about freedoms. How come freedom fighters for the convoy are
Tamara, free Tamara. une prisonnière de conscience. Une prisonnière de
He's getting pissed off. He's at the edge of his rope here.
The lives of so many Canadians for the last 20 years.
Honte à vous. J'ai toujours voté libéral. Vous avez été mon premier ministre. Je vous ai voté tout le temps pour vous. Honte à vous. Honte à vous.
Coward of a prime minister. The people want answers and he can't even answer. Coward what you are, prime minister.
You let him eat. He's just eating, okay?
So what? He's disturbing.
Honte à
He didn't let us.
So what? He's disturbing millions of people. We got this one posted here too. There's a lot in this comment section. It says Trudeau forced to retreat back aboard his tour bus as he's pelted with stones in Ontario. That's a little spray of gravel. It looks like Mick Jagger is going to have to do a little bit more research before he puts on another concert in Canada. We got this post here. It says, as I drive through Northern Alberta, I love seeing common sense signs like this. A conservative government would axe the tax. So, axe the tax parked on the back of a truck. We got this post here. So, at the Calgary Stampede, this lady gets up here with this flag and people just start getting along with it. You find out how many people don't like Justin Trudeau at the Calgary Stampede. Quite a few people that were chanting there. Look at the comments here. It says, worst part, they don't even know why they hate him. Yeah, there's a lot of people detached. They don't even know what's going on. Not a single objection in the crowd. It's funny, there's a girl at the front here. I was noticing she probably liberal. There's another shot down here, so it's right here. Yeah, she didn't seem to be impressed. Only one in the room there, not having a laugh over it. Next up, we got this one here, posted by Naya. It says, it's confirmed there's no men working in the Canadian government. I thought this was pretty funny. If you look at this chart here, basically it shows all employees number. It shows women, Indigenous peoples, persons with disabilities, members of visible minorities. There's no men. There's no chart here. There's no number for men. And what's funny is if you look at the comments, someone said, well, if you take the 56.6 and you minus that, you know, then you can get the real number, right? Like it's, in this case, you would have 43.4% are men. But then the question comes, well, that's just assuming someone's gender then, and that might not be their identity. They might be some other gender. This is goofy. Next up, we got this clip here from Rick Perkins. It says Trudeau's green slush fund is much worse than the infamous Liberal sponsorship scandal. 186 cases of conflicts of interest, recommendations, and reports mysteriously changing. Board members illegally funneling millions to their own companies. How deep does the corruption go? Put these people all in jail.
The Auditor General, there's a fellow named Chris Wormold, and he was the business review analyst for this outside consultants. And he put forward reports, and we have copies of them, that said a number of these projects should not be approved and shouldn't be qualified under the funds. And then only within a couple of months, he put forward a report saying, oh, sorry, changed my mind. These should be approved. It happens that the ones that he changed his mind on were all financially owned by one of the directors. Did you, as the Auditor General, as part of the governance and analysts, understand and look in that depth at this fellow Chris Wormold and all of those things that were off the table and rejected and then back on the table mysteriously happen to be the ones the directors owned?
As I mentioned before, we don't look at the individual actions of a person. We went to the organization, but I believe that the honourable member is talking about a reference in paragraph 42, where we did highlight that there was an external expert who had a conflict and wasn't removed. Again, this is instances where the conflict of interest policy it didn't cover things or wasn't followed. And so I believe that we highlighted a couple of those situations in paragraph 42.
That's appalling. Like, seize their bank accounts, put them in jail for 30 years. Problem solved. Next up, we got this post here from Justin Trudeau's Ego account. This afternoon, I flew my enormous private jet to Washington to discuss climate change and funding wars. As we celebrate 75 years of NATO, we look back on how it's changed. Today, we've successfully morphed it from a military alliance to a money laundering organization. So apparently with NATO, what they're trying to do is Trump-proof it. So they put in more policies and putting more of the weight on NATO itself and less on America. So when Trump gets in, he'll have less power and pull over NATO. It's just crazy times right now because there's too many woke countries in charge right now. And when they're going to NATO, they're trying to do this stuff. Next up, we got Trudeau's health minister, Mark Holland, admitting that the dental program isn't free.
Thank you, ministers, for taking our question. The question I have is, Minister Holland, your officials today, they gave us a technical briefing. It was very helpful. And one of the things that they mentioned was, and they stressed, this is not free dental care. And that, of course, is something that dentists had wished that had been communicated better by the government. So I wondered, could you right now affirm that it's not free dental care, and what will your government be doing to better communicate who's eligible, how to apply, what the limits are, how to get paid and all that? Because I think that was dentists' concern too, that their clients, their patients were showing up and really were unclear about some of the important details of the program.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, David. It's not a free program. So folks will get their package in the mail. For those that are under 70,000, they don't have a copay. So what we've done, dentists have a separate process to set their rates. We have a process that we've engaged in Health Canada to determine what we think is fair and what we think we can cover. And there's sometimes there's a difference between those. So they call that balance billing or equal billing. So folks should have a conversation with their provider, and they should expect that in many instances there will be some fees.
I thought it was free, Mark. Oh, God. This guy forever has been saying it's free. Free dental care. Free. You're going to take away their free dental care. This is absurd. This guy's such a liar. They're all liars. The government does not do anything for free. The government does not have any money. We, the citizens, the taxpayers, pay for this. Free does not exist. Yeah. On top of that, you still have to pay part of your dental plan, even if it is supported by the government, which is the taxpayers. So Mark Holland scammed more than 200,000 seniors already. The dental plan is for babies and elderly, the people who do not have teeth. It was a scam from the start. $10 child care is the same. These programs were never meant to fly. The programs are too costly for the government, so they made them impossible to use en masse. We've got this one here. Caption this. I'll be paying off your debt my whole effing life. The face you make the first time you meet the devil. This kid is every Canadian spirit animal. The baby is terrified of clowns. We got this post from Dan Mazier. It says, high carbon hypocrisy. Justin Trudeau's climate change ambassador charged taxpayers more than $250,000 to jet around the world. The high cost, high carbon hypocrites have no shame. Meanwhile, they punish Canadians for driving to work with a costly carbon tax. You can see here, around the world, $254,000 Canada's ambassador for climate change billed more than $250,000 in travel expenses in less than 2 years on the job. Catherine Stewart charged for stays at luxury hotels ranging up to $623 a night, according to Access to Information records. Climate change will bring unprecedented challenges. Seize the bank account, take the money back. That's my solution to everything now. Just seize all these people's bank accounts. See how they like it. Doing what they do best, wasting taxpayer money. Was that at least in a Zeppelin? That's only $10K a month. Hell, the girl has to travel, am I right? Bahaha. No respect for taxpayers. Yeah, $10K a month. She just produced more CO2 on our tax dollars than the average household in their lifetime. Was she voted in, or is this a scratch your back appointment from JT? Climate change will balance itself. Canada, after 9 years of Justin Trudeau, second highest carbon tax collection in the world, worst economic growth in the OECD, second highest drug deaths, worst housing cost increases in the G7. Let's take a look at this. New poll shows Trudeau Liberals could fall to 4th place next to the Greens. With 37 seats. A lot of people are saying now, because what's happening in France, the right-wing party didn't win, the left kind of merged together. So people are saying, well, if these three can merge together, it doesn't matter. The Conservatives are going to win. Even if they got the bloc on board, it wouldn't matter. Moving on here, we've got this posted by Wall Street Apes. So we've got this guy here, and it's a long 5-minute video. Just to sum it up, this is a guy in America. He's got some sort of business here. You can see it looks like some sort of construction or something. He's got a guy comes in and asks to get a job, and the guy was an illegal, and he said, no, I can't. The guy takes a bus up to Chicago. He gets papers. He gets, because in Chicago, it's one of these sanctuary cities. He becomes a citizen or landed or whatever they're doing up there. Gives him cash, gives them a place to live, $500 a month, cheap rent. And he comes back and he's got all his papers. He's like, okay, I can work now. And this guy's just like absolutely shocked because there's, some people, it takes them years and years trying to apply for citizenship. And if you just go claim it as like a refugee, as they say here, illegal migrant, and you just go up to Chicago, it's like a couple months and you're good to go. This is what's happening in Canada too. We've got all this money being spent on, like I saw one report, they're buying out a huge plot of land in Ottawa for millions of dollars just to, buying up a nunnery to house migrants. But meanwhile, we're not taking care of our own citizens on the street. The whole thing seems very broken. The people on the street weren't always on the street. They were pushed onto the street. These are taxpayers. These are people who have paid their taxes for years, and they're left out to literally sleep out in the cold. This situation needs to change, and I'm sure Pierre Poilievre will take care of it because he's not a corrupted bonehead like Justin Trudeau. We got this clip here. Now, this is a protest in America, but just take a look at this. They basically pack these protesters into U-Hauls, and they just come pouring out. So they drive these
Vanguard.
They drive these U-Hauls up to wherever they want to protest.
Oh, it's a fucking protest. What is this? Bro, how
yeah, like how many people can... These guys keep swearing. I'm just going to mute it. But like how many people can they pack into a U-Haul? This is crazy. So next up, we got this clip here of Naheed Nenshi calling the Conservatives monkeys while calling NDP colleagues. If you're not familiar with this guy here, Naheed Nenshi is the former mayor of Calgary. He's the NDP leader in Alberta right now. He's an absolute fool.
I have been to question period a grand total of once in my life. And I was watching you and your colleagues and watching these monkeys on the other side. Can we influence them at all from opposition?
It's one thing if I'm calling him a monkey. I'm just some guy on the internet. This guy's a politician. Like, this is deplorable. Have a little bit of class and tact. Maybe he wanted to align with Freeland's cold, cruel, and small comment. I bet he said comrades. Says the guy who most closely resembles a monkey. We got another clip here of Nenshi. It says Alberta should welcome all of Trudeau's economic crushing policies, and we should do with open arms. And if you don't think that way, you're small-minded.
They were describing an Alberta where everyone is against us. An Alberta where we need to fight outsiders all the time. An Alberta where we should be scared of change instead of embracing and leading the future. That is not Alberta. Alberta is not small. Alberta is not small-minded.
I'm still not understanding who voted for this guy ever. Yeah, good question. Boy, that didn't take long for his filthy mouth to start. He's an unqualified clown. Alrighty, let's jump over to my group here and see what memes we've got. Being broken into 4 times. There's nothing valuable left. Please stop breaking the window. I'm running out of tape. Oh, I had a friend in film school where he would just roll down all of his windows so the homeless guys could just get in there and search everything. And eventually, one day he came in there and he found a homeless guy in the back seat. And when he kind of ushered the guy out, there's a big steaming pile of crap in the back seat of his car. Oof, this is brutal. This should not be happening. I'm going to address this post because I keep seeing it shared around different creators. Basically, this is true. This is a real thing that was posted. It says, hello, if you're find instructions regarding a self-tape audition for a male kid CBC host, if you're in the right place, blah, blah, blah. It says any race except Caucasian. So it's basically like a racist job posting by the CBC. This is going around as if it's something new. This is true, but this happened back in 2013. This isn't new. This isn't from yesterday or last week or whatever. Something to be aware about. Not everything is happening right here and now. There's a lot of stuff that just gets brought back up and shared. Me in bed in the morning trying to summon the courage to face another day in an Orwellian clown world where my memes are fact-checked by people who believe that men can get pregnant. The globalists will continue to flood people into every free country until each country collapses. It's not happening by accident. Yeah, this is really something that is planned. You cannot raise your children as your parents raised you because your parents raised you in a world that no longer exists. Oh, we've got the clip of Trudeau. I can't have that audio in there. This never gets old. Ford releases photo of new crash dummy. It's not inflation when corporations are raking in record profits. It's time people admit that the mainstream media's job is not to tell you the truth. Their job is to make sure you don't find out the truth, because that would be bad for business. Yeah, that's why I'm here. No guys coming in with a briefcase of cash, just some dude in a room digging up the truth. I'm so old, I remember when climate change was called spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Finally, a cabin I can afford. Oh, God. This saran wrap things on YouTube, just ridiculous. Mira, mira on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? That's going to wrap up this episode. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about the Mick Jagger situation there. It's always interesting to see Justin Trudeau getting booed. On top of that, Calgary Stampede breaking out into a full F Trudeau chant. Yeah, there's a reason why he didn't show up to the Stampede this year. Same with Jagmeet. There would be a lot of media being passed around if they showed up in Alberta. They probably won't visit Alberta for quite some time, probably until they're kicked out of office. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thanks for watching the end of the video. I greatly appreciate it. If you guys want to check out something a little bit different, I'm also an adventure filmmaker. I recently put up a film on my hiking channel. If you want to check that out, I'll link that up here. I got a bunch of world first footage deep in the mountains near Tofino. The footage is absolutely incredible. Old growth forests that have never been logged, just pristine backcountry in BC. So if that interests you, I'll link that up. We're going to keep fighting for freedom, and I'll see you guys in the next one.